Hello, Dozer. Could you start by giving our viewers a short introduction about yourself?
Sure. Born in the late 70s. No, I'm not telling my age. I'm not 50 yet. Currently working as a CTO for a small company here in Stavanger. I have been living in Stavanger for 16, 17 years. I have a son, aged almost 13. That's kind of scary.
Oh, yes. Teenage years.
Yeah, that's me right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember the exact moment you first got hooked on computers? It was something that...
Yes, I do. In fact, my cousin, my much cooler cousin, bought
the cooler one, yeah.
bought a Commodore 64 while on holiday in Denmark in '83.
Oh.
And since he was the cool one, I of course wanted to mimic him, and I visited every time we visited them, his family. It was always, "Where's the computer?
Yeah.
Can you play? Can you show me a game? Can we play a game?" And that's how I really got hooked.
Okay.
I didn't buy my own computer for quite a few years, but yeah, that was the start of it all.
The start of it all, yeah. What was your first computer, and was it only your computer, or was it a family computer?
It was my computer. It was a Commodore 64 I bought for my own money.
Used that, I suppose?
No. Brand new. I was kind of late to the party. I think it was in 3rd grade in school. So I saved up money from Christmas and everything I did throughout the year. And I have my birthday is in July, so I'd saved up every single krone up until my birthday. And on my birthday, my parents drove me to the computer store and we bought it.
Great.
That was a Commodore 64. I did have to Google it, what pack it was, because it was the...
Yeah, there were all those packs.
Yeah, it was a pack. It was a Video Super Game 64.
I think I have one of those.
Yeah, it was basically the Commodore 64, a really shitty Commodore joystick, a black one, and a cartridge with 3 games on it. Colossus Chess, Silicon Cyborgs, spelled wrong. It was not spelled with a C, but it was an S.
Oh, wow.
And international football. So again,
all the best games.
Yeah, again, back to my cousin, my cooler cousin.
Yeah.
He played soccer.
Yeah.
And so I played, that soccer game was probably the only game I played on that cartridge. And you'll notice I never bought a tape deck or a disc drive.
Just cartridges?
I just had that cartridge. That was all the games I had.
That's the only one?
Yeah.
Oh.
So basically, after 3 days, I got tired of it, and I called my cousin. "Hi, do you use your Commodore anymore?" And he didn't, because he realized girls were prettier than the Commodore.
Yes.
So I got to borrow his disk drive. Oh. And all his games.
Great. That's
so
a good
I had basically had a disk drive from day one. Or basically day one. So yeah, that was my first experience with my own computer.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a TV in my bedroom, so it was an in the living room computer. I could only use it when my parents weren't watching TV.
Yeah. Normal back then.
Oh yes.
Amiga then. When did you get one?
Norway has the confirmation part, the religious thing that you do when the year you turn 15. You basically go to church
yes, of course.
For a few times, and it's not really a thing in other countries. Basically, for kids today, it's not a religious thing, it's a social thing.
Get money thing.
Get money thing.
Yes.
Because girls get jewelry, boys get money.
Yeah.
And I got enough money to buy an Amiga.
Which model?
500.
500.
Yeah. So I got just enough money to buy Amiga 500 with 512K of extra memory. So my cool cousin drove me to the computer store and I bought it.
Do you remember the price?
4,750 kroner.
So you got a brand new?
Yeah, brand new.
Yeah.
Again, I never realized there was a used market for computers back then.
Aha.
You went to the store, they have a computer.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, you had ads in newspapers. That's how I got mine. So.
Yeah, you had ads in newspapers, but they never mentioned price.
Sometimes.
Yeah. But then you had to wait, and you had to call people. Go to the store, buy it.
Yeah, right.
So that was my first Amiga 500.
What did you spend most of your time doing on the Amiga? Was it mainly games or something else?
In the start, it was mainly games. And then I dabbled into... at the end of the Commodore 64 era, I started getting into demos and all that, seeing, that's a cool thing.
Yeah.
And then when the Amiga came around, it was, they have demos here as well.
Yeah. Just better ones.
Better music, and even speech.
Yeah.
Because speech was a big thing back then. I don't know if you remember this, but Amiga games, the thing that pulled people in was the computer speaks. Speech was a big thing. Even in Workbench 1.3, you had the say command.
Yeah. I remember that one.
Yeah, and that was the big thing because the Commodore 64 didn't have speech in that way, really.
Yeah, indeed.
So that was the big thing for the Amiga for me was it's better. It's not just better graphics. It's better.
It was a big leap.
Yeah, it was a big leap.
Yeah.
So looking back at the Amiga 500 there, you think, it's not that much better. Yes, it was.
Yes,
it was a lot better.
It was. Indeed.
I came into demos. A classmate of mine, I will get into this later, but he got me into the demo scene in a way that I was a swapper.
Yeah.
So he always had the latest demos.
Yes,
and on my way home from school, it was always within his house, and then go home and watch the demos.
Very cool. So swapping, you said, were a system as well back in the day.
Yeah.
Do you have some interesting stories from that time?
Oh yeah. Being a swapper at 14, 15, 16 years old, you don't have enough money to actually send the letters.
Indeed.
So you use glue on top of the stamps, and you told the receiver to send the stamps back. This worked great for a while. You wash the stamps and it works fine. When you start getting into sending 10 to 15 letters per day.
You're that much into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You start getting, you get into a rush. You need to get stuff out immediately. And the problem with that is you don't let the glue dry.
Oh, yeah.
So I was called into the post office. They had a stack of 10 letters. Hi, can you explain? No. They basically threatened me with document forgery and all that. And
document forgery for that?
Because a stamp is a document. It's an official document.
Okay.
Because it's worth money.
Yeah.
So it's basically, you stop this or we will take you to court.
As a 14, 15-year-old boy, that's not that fun.
No! It was really scary.
Yeah, I can believe that.
So that was the end of my swapper career.
Yeah.
In that way.
Demo scene. When did you first discover the demo scene? And what made you want to get involved?
First discovered it was through this classmate. Well, I did discover it before, but I didn't. It
crack
was just
intros, probably.
Yeah, it was crack intros and all that. But the demo scene part of it, that it wasn't just a demo that someone found on the internet or found on a BBS really.
Yeah.
People actually made them and sent them to other people.
Indeed.
Because that was the way to spread it.
Yeah.
Swappers were a really big part of this. So that was the big. And being a swapper was I get everything of the new stuff.
Yeah.
So I did, the classmate of mine basically were getting out of it because he also realized girls are pretty much more fun than my computer.
Yeah, yes.
And I didn't quite realize that at that point. So, hey, computers are really fun, I think.
Yeah.
And there are girls on the computer as well.
Yeah.
Pictures of them at least.
Yeah. Yes.
So I got into the demo scene by chance, really. And also I inherited a list of contacts.
Oh.
Yeah. I basically got his contacts. Hi, contact them, don't be a dick.
That's nice.
Yeah. So I started out with 50 contacts. And basically just sent them everyone two discs. Hi, here's a new demo.
Yeah, cool.
And then I think all of them replied. because back then, if you had curated a list of contacts, they would reply to you every time. The first time you sent out a disc, it was always a kind of chance they might not reply. So you never. I never sent 2 discs at the first letter.
Okay, just
one disc, one letter.
One at a time.
Hi, this is me. I would like to swap this. I'm in this group. Blah 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 blah. Back then, I was at Impulse. For some reason. Because Impulse was what he was in, and he basically said, "Yeah, you're now in Impulse."
Why not? Why not?
So that was my entry into the demo scene in that matter.
Okay. Now comes a big one for you. How did you go from just attending demo parties to actually helping organize them?
Demo parties started out with the gathering, as many did here in Norway.
At the first one in Stavanger?
No. Oh. Yeah, I went to gathering in Stavanger.
Yeah.
And from then we realized that, okay, the gathering is going to be organized in Hamar. Yeah. And we basically got enough people together to get a bus, and we drove over from Bergen.
Yeah.
And we had a great time. It was great fun. Even if network didn't work, stuff didn't work, but we had fun. That was the most important. And the demos at the end was the big prize for us.
Yeah. But how did you get into organizing them?
I knew one of the organizers in the demo crew because he was the one organizing the bus ride.
One from the Impulse group?
No, this was...
years later, perhaps?
This was a bit later. This was in 95... Well, I met him in 95 because this was from the BBS Aminor, if you remember that one.
Yes.
Ivan Olsen, he was called.
Yes.
He basically was the organizer of demo crew, and he did it in 96. And I was not a member of the crew in 96. But in 97 he asked, well, you're a likable guy. Would you like to help out?
Yes.
So I said, sure, we can try that.
Yeah.
And then from there it just...
The ball started rolling,
Yeah, the ball started rolling, basically.
Yeah.
For some reason, people tend to appreciate what I do.
Yeah. Could you walk us through some of the demo parties you have helped organize over the years, and which one you're still involved with today? Yes.
I started out with the gathering, as I mentioned, and from the gathering, a few of the organizers the members of the demo crew at the gathering also started organizing Solskogen here in Norway. And from there, we went to kindergarten. Yeah. And from kindergarten, that fizzled out after some years. It was in the middle of winter. It was cold. It was... Yeah,
I've been there 1 year, I think.
Yeah, it was a long trip for me. Yeah. And back then I didn't have a car, and I couldn't drive. So it was basically a plane ride, and I couldn't bring stuff, and it was painful. Yeah. And the entire party closed down a few years later. It's never officially closed down, though. The organization still exists. Oh. So it could resurrect if the people behind it would like to. Yeah. And from there, when Solskogen closed down after COVID, we had the last party was online only.
Yeah, you were supposed to have one last, but
we couldn't.
Overruined it.
It was an invite only party because we rented area in Oslo at Vulkan. House of Nerds.
Oh, yeah.
We rented that one. And basically we had it there. So we had, it wasn't many people. I think it was 20 people. That was
small party then,
yeah. So very small. And we had an online only party with everything. And that was the last hurrah for Solskogen. And then we basically didn't have anything. And I met up with a few of the other people who helped arrange Solskogen. And we just said, do we want to continue? Yeah. Because the main organizer and the sound guy said, we've had enough. We are getting older. Yeah. Our families start to miss us during the summer. And all that. And so we basically did Black Valley. Yeah. And Black Valley was first time organized at Kruttverket in Svartdal, in right outside Oslo. Yeah. So Black Valley actually comes from Svartdal.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the name.
Just, why not?
Yeah. and we had the black metal compo, and it was a reasonably big success in Norway for a party that small. We actually had to refuse people. We were sold out because the area wasn't big enough. I think it was 80.
Yeah.
Because the hall wasn't big enough. So it was basically a test to see, is it feasible to do another demo party in Norway?
Wasn't that almost a bit bigger than Solskogen?
No, Solskogen was like 150.
It's me forgetting. Yeah, okay. It's been a few years since I was there.
Solskogen was at 2 locations as well.
Yeah, I remember I've been to both.
Yeah.
Flateby and...
Flateby was the last one.
Yeah. Okay.
So nowadays I organize Black Valley.
Yeah.
That's the big one.
That's the only one left.
It's the only pure demo party left in Norway. Yeah. They do have demo competitions at the gathering still. But, well, when you're not focused on it, you won't get the best contributions. Indeed. So that's their biggest problem.
Yeah. But Black Valley, how is the atmosphere there compared to Solskogen?
Quite similar. It's more professionalized because well, we are more adult. We kind of need to. And but it's the same feel to it in my eyes.
Okay. And
it
probably
feels the same for
a
me.
lot of the same people as well.
Yeah. There are mainly new people behind it. It's me, Manes. We both organized Solskogen.
Yeah.
And then we have Kusma, Erik, and we have his wife, Susan Kussen.
Yeah.
And we have Bitbear on audio. And we have, I can't remember all the people from the info desk and all that.
No.
But that's the main organizer. We have Ernie on streaming. And quite a lot more people, but those are the main organizers.
Okay, so a bit smaller, but the same atmosphere then.
Yeah, it's a bit smaller, but we have everything is quite local to the area. You don't have to drive 20 minutes to get to a shower. The showers are right next door. It is one hall. It's sleeping hall in a basement, and you can have a tent. It's not a forest though.
No.
So that's the thing missing from Black Valley.
Is it the same time of year?
Yeah, it's the second week of July. Second weekend of July.
Yeah, so the same time as school then.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you? This one we could actually just remove because you said the gathering was the first event you helped organize.
Yeah.
From the outside, demo parties look fun but also chaotic. What's something people usually don't realize about organizing them?
That it's not we'll organize a party. You don't just show up on a Friday and organize the party.
No,
it's a whole year thing.
Yeah, a lot of planning.
It's a lot of planning.
Yeah.
It's much more money involved than I would like to, because everything costs money.
Yeah, it does. I know.
The sound system is by far the most expensive thing.
I can bet.
Sound and video is really, really expensive, unfortunately. But we do have really good sponsors that help us out with. Well, the sound guys basically say, we don't rent that much equipment during the summer, so you can have it a bit cheaper, and we'll help. We'll mount it for free for you, and they are really helpful. And
that's nice at least.
And projector guys are basically, it's a bit small, but you need a really powerful projector to do this, so we'll do that. So basically, we can do a projector in the middle of summer outside with that. Another thing is how much equipment we actually have to bring, because no one lives at the party place.
No, indeed.
So I drive from Stavanger to Oslo area.
Yeah, that's a couple of hours to say the least.
It's a couple of hours to drive, and I bring all the computers.
All of them?
All of them. All the retro stuff, all the modern stuff. The stream stuff I usually don't bring, but and all the video stuff I bring.
Yeah.
The projector is the only thing we rent. Because that's...
So we have a full car then?
Yeah, it's a full car.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's all that. And people usually don't... Well, they say, it's a really good party, really well organized. Well, it's a lot of little things. You need to remember to have as I said, people at the info desk.
Yeah.
Most people just walk past them, but they actually are on call guards.
Yeah.
They need to make sure people don't drink too much, people don't behave badly.
Don't take drugs.
If stuff happens, they need to handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, I can bet.
Which we didn't handle very well back in the 90s.
No, I know.
Because then it was, let's do a party. I'm free this weekend.
Yeah. No, but with time, you get older and get experience.
And you expect more from a party.
Yeah, definitely.
Nowadays, you expect to have internet. You expect to be able to sleep somewhere. You expect good sound. You expect. Back then, it was basically we have sound.
Yeah, it's working.
Bob brought some speakers. We have sound.
Yeah.
So people demand a lot more today. And of course, during the internet age, people love to see a stream.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
I can't attend because I actually have a family this year.
Yeah, but there are a lot of so-called sofa sceners. A lot of them.
Yeah, but they are appreciated as well.
I've started to become one myself. So.
Yeah, but sofa sceners are really. I'm a sofa scener during revision and all that.
Yeah.
Because I can't travel to Germany with my son and
indeed
be there. So yeah.
What's the one thing that always seems to go wrong, no matter how well you plan it?
Time schedules.
Yeah, I knew the answer to that one.
There is always one demo.
Yeah.
That you run it on the compo machine and it crashes.
Yeah.
Usually in the middle of the demo.
Yeah.
And from what you've seen, you really want that demo in the compo.
Yeah. One of the better ones.
Yeah, it's always one of the better ones. And there's something on the compo machine that the demo doesn't work or blah blah blah. But and the compo system crashes. But so time limits always slide.
I have noticed, and usually by hours.
Yeah, hours and hours. And we do try to give ourselves that much room that we can...
Some wiggle room.
Yeah, some wiggle room that we can push it back into the same schedule, but things are always delayed.
Yeah.
No matter how much we delay stuff, how much headroom we give ourselves, there is not enough wiggle room there.
Indeed.
The first compo usually goes on as planned.
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
Second one, usually 5 minutes late. By the fourth or fifth one, it's we'll just run it when we're done.
Yeah.
With the previous compo.
In your opinion, what makes a demo party truly great? What's the one thing?
I actually have that written down because I have a boring answer and a real answer.
Oh, let's have both.
Let me see here. Boring answer. The entries.
Yes.
With great entries, people remember the party. Oh, that production was so good. It was released at that party. That's a cool party, blah, 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 blah. Real answer, the people.
Yeah.
It is the atmosphere, the being able to talk to everyone.
Yeah, I would agree. That's the most important part.
Yeah, it is the most important part. Sure, it's hectic for those making the demo or having to make fixes to a demo right before deadline and all that.
But very few people do that anymore.
Yeah.
They bring finished releases.
People
at least now.
It's strange to say, but people are usually better planners as they get older.
Yeah, and they don't want that stress. But there are some people that come there and
are
not
make
finished.
Party prods. People do make party prods. So yeah. But the ability to be able to talk to everyone and see, I know I've heard your name.
Yeah.
But what was your handle? And then, oh my God, I've talked to you for hours on BBSs or whatever.
I've had the same experience. People coming up to me, you're that guy.
I had that experience at low res this time.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. I met you in '89. No, you probably didn't. I was 11. 12. But I didn't know the guy. I sat behind him at the Gathering '96.
Yeah, but he remembered you.
He remembered me.
So you made some kind of impact?
Obviously.
How would you describe the atmosphere to someone who has never been to a demo party?
Sausage fest. Well, it's
There are a lot of guys, yes.
It's older guys nowadays. Let's admit that. We are getting older, luckily.
Definitely.
The big thing is it's not it's a retro fest. Because, well, people bring Amigas, they bring Commodore 64s, they bring modern PCs, they bring Macs, they bring whatever. And the atmosphere is friendly. It's not, back in the 90s and all that, we were elitistic.
Yeah, definitely.
You would never talk to someone who had an Atari.
Indeed.
You would probably just scowl in their direction and say, Atari.
Yeah.
Go away. Oh, you can't afford an Amiga, blah,
yeah.
and all that. Nowadays, it's more, oh, wow, you have that computer. Yeah. Come on, that's cool.
That's a rare one.
Yeah, that's a rare one. I remember that one. Or does it have demos? Can you show me something?
And how is it compared to the Amiga or whatever?
Yeah. How is it compared to that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the atmosphere is friendly, but mostly older guys, so be prepared for the older guy factor.
Yeah, there aren't many under the age of 30.
There aren't, unfortunately. I would hope there would be more, but it's hard. It's hard to recruit people into a underground scene that might not be that interesting for people.
I've been getting some teenagers to my group lately.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm just like, where did you come from? And like, I'm learning assembly on the Amiga, and I'm just
why?
Why? So yeah,
it's really cool to hear, because we did have an influx in the early 2000s when the demo sceners started getting girlfriends.
Yeah,
the girlfriends came to the parties.
Yeah, indeed.
And they started getting, and the girls started getting into design.
Yes,
and graphics.
Yes, some of them did.
Quite a lot of them are really excellent artists today.
Yeah.
And graphical artists, designers, and all that. So they did get influence from the demo scene.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's just too bad that they didn't stick around. But they got kids, you know.
Yeah, they got kids themselves.
Yeah.
So that's the big thing. And we do have a few that come around, and well, they usually just visit for one day because they can't afford to bring a whole weekend without the kids and all that. So
it's life.
It's life. So we have to wait until the kids get 18 and they can come to the demo party themselves.
Yeah.
And then we're really old men and young kids.
What's the most unexpected or bizarre thing that's ever happened at one of your events?
Let me see here what I actually... Because I did have something.
Oh, you had to think about that one.
Yeah, I did have to think about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Be faster. Oh, yeah. That was... I was at Dozer in Sweden. When that still existed.
Yeah.
I talked to me and Menace were talking to two really cool Swedes. Just talking about shit back in the day and all that.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, what's your name? Yeah, Cactus and Mahoney.
Ah.
Oh,
guys.
You made like Noise Tracker.
Yeah.
You're those guys.
Yeah.
And I also met Dave Haney of Commodore fame at the same party.
Wow.
That's like... That's
How did they get in there? They must have paid the flight and everything.
Yeah, they paid the flight.
Yeah.
But Dave Haney just, oh yeah, that's the guy who made the computer.
Yeah.
And watching him watch a demo was kind of cool because the demo scene wasn't really a thing in the US. And watching, he was surprised that people still used the Commodore or Amiga to that degree.
Yeah. And
the amount of crap they managed to push through that graphics chip.
Yeah.
He said, why? How?
Yeah.
It was never meant to do this. But you did it.
Yeah, that's great.
So he was actually tearing up a minute there when he said it. It
was a moment.
Yeah, it was a big moment for him because it was so powerful for him probably to see that the thing he toyed with and built basically is still used and loved.
Yeah. definitely.
So that is a big thing.
Yeah. How have parties changed from the early days compared to today? If you look away from the that you are much older,
More professionalized, because people are usually not happy with some projector you borrow from an uncle, and sleeping on a mattress in a corner somewhere. You want some more luxury, having access to a shower.
Yes,
I would say that's
yeah.
So yeah, the biggest thing is more professionalized. Not professionalized like, oh, this is an event, we need to take lots of money for it. Black Valley is basically a zero-sum project.
Yeah.
There is no taking money out of the party.
No.
The money we get in from tickets is basically what goes back out.
Yeah, I would suspect so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no one making money for it. In fact, there is. Every year, it's like we have to sell like X amount of tickets, or else we can't arrange the party.
Yeah.
We can't afford the sound system. So yeah.
What keeps you motivated to What keeps you motivated to still do demo parties?
The atmosphere, the friendships, really.
Yeah, I think
Because it's a lot of organizing them is a lot of stress.
Yeah.
Right when you're there, it's a lot of stress. Because, oh my God, the blah, blah, blah didn't work. Or we have a 50 hertz hum on something.
Yep.
I can't find that hum. I have 44 cables going from that side of the hole to that side of the hole, and I can't figure out where the hum is coming from. That was a problem we had 2 years ago. Oof. So we had someone driving to Clas Ohlson and buying a ground loop for us.
Wow.
And we basically just plugged out stuff. There we go. No, we don't have hum, and we still have sound.
Yeah.
So the Amiga compo that year was basically because of that little thing.
Now we're going over to something completely different. Preservation.
I did dabble in that as well.
Yeah, what got you involved in preserving Commodore 64 games?
Commodore 64 games was... I've always tried to preserve Amiga discs and PC discs and all that. Basically just dump them, put them on an FTP. Yeah, I've done my part. The Commodore 64 stuff was SLC that contacted me and said, you know this guy. Mm-hmm. Could you ask him if we can borrow his games? Because we need to copy his games to preserve them. And it's a childhood friend of mine. And I just said, sure, I'll contact him. I contacted him and said, hi, can we do this? And he said, sure.
Yeah.
I want to preserve it.
Yeah.
So that was the entry point. And then by preserving, I'm the guy who basically dumps the games.
Yeah.
I copy the data from the tapes and all that, and I scan the inlays and posters and box art and all that. I zip it together, upload it to a server, and then other people go through it. They will ensure the games work. They test it. They stitch the images. If it's a poster that's really big, you need to stitch it because you can't scan it in one go. So they stitch it, they color correct it, and then they release it as a thing.
Quite a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. And this is a part where AI doesn't help us.
Yeah.
Because AI can't stitch pictures. Not well enough.
Yeah.
It can do it somewhat, but not really good.
Not up to the quality you demand.
No, because we scan, posters are scanned at like 600 dpi.
Yeah.
So they are quite large. And getting when you scan at that resolution, you get the defects from the printing. And if you get that wrong in stitching, it looks really weird.
No,
and when you then color correct it, it gets really weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has to be done manually, and it's a big job for the other guys who do that.
Yeah. What's the hardest part? Finding original media, verifying it, or something else?
Finding is still quite easy. I still have access to one of the largest collections in Norway of Commodore 64 tape games.
Yeah.
He also has a lot of other tape games, but he never really collected disc games, so I've not even started on that.
Oh.
So disc games is kind of up in the air at the moment.
Yeah. So to anyone that watches this, send me discs.
If you have games that we haven't preserved, feel free to contact us, and you will get access to a Discord where we talk about stuff, and you can say, "Hi, I have this." We don't really need your game. You don't need to send the game to us unless we say, "Well, it needs to be scanned in a proper way." And if you don't have a proper scanner, we do not accept mobile photos and all that.
No.
You need a proper scanner that's color corrected, and we have a profile for.
Yeah.
And if you are not able to do it or won't do it, we can do it for you, but then you will need to send the game to us.
How can they contact you?
You will probably have a contact field under this video.
Yes.
That's the easy part.
Yes.
Because I don't have it in my head.
Yeah. Where can people check out games you have preserved?
So far, we have it on archive.org. If you search for Ultimate Tape Archive there, you will find it. The easier part is to go to uta.pokefinder.org.
Yeah.
That's ultimatetapearchive.pokefinder.org, so UTA. And there is the C64 and the VIC-20 collection so far. What
VIC-20
we've done
as well, then.
Yeah, we just started VIC-20.
Yeah.
Because the guy doing C64 was a bit tired and said, "Can you please do something else?"
Yeah.
So we started VIC-20. We have started with Spectrum, and we will expand.
Yeah.
So
sounds great.
It will be some BBC and some Amstrad, and so
cool. You also contributed to Demoscene. Can you tell us about your work there?
Yeah, the Demoscene part was also... Demoscene is... The main guy behind Demoscene is like Gasman. He's the programmer, but the idea behind it was mainly Menace, I think. And he poked me and said, "You have a lot of hardware, don't you?" "Yes." "And you have equipment to capture stuff, don't you?" "Yes." "Please do."
Please do, okay.
So he pokes me about once a month to just say, "Hi, did you capture anything yet?" Usually my answer is no, but every now and then I get it over me to just capture a lot of stuff. I captured like 170 GBA demos in a weekend.
There are that many demos. Okay.
There are a lot more. The problem with, the reason for capturing is because quite a lot of the original early demos are for esoteric platforms. They are for platforms that are either really hard to emulate, or the demos don't even run in an emulator, or only runs in an emulator, and only runs in that emulator with that setting.
Yes.
So having a video capture helps a lot of people. People doing demo parties to just want to show old demos, or there is a Twitch channel that continually runs demos, and that has used our videos.
Cool.
We don't. There are several people who capture demos. Of course, there is, and quite a lot of them watermark the videos. Like this was captured, blah 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 blah. We don't do that. No. It's a capture of demo. If you want to abuse us, sure, go ahead. It took me like an hour to do this. It's not a problem. I never made any money from it. So if you want to send it, cool. And our biggest thing at Demoscene is that the capture should be from hardware if possible. If the demo runs on hardware, it should be captured from hardware.
Yeah.
It will result in worse quality than if you run it through an emulator, but it will run correctly. It will run like it was supposed to.
Yes. Because
quite a lot of demos, especially early ones, do not work really well on accelerated Amigas. You need demos that run on... This only runs on Kickstart 1.2 and 512K of RAM. It will refuse to run on anything else.
Yeah.
Well, it's much easier to just capture that and show the video.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, we're coming to the end part. Do you think the internet has changed creativity for the better or worse?
It has definitely changed it. But as the biggest thing is now you can see what other people do much easier. Back in the day, it was you either had to go to a BBS, you had to go to a demo party to see what people did, or similar to that.
Yeah.
And today, it's basically online immediately.
Yeah.
It also makes it a lot easier to see when people copy stuff. Yeah, because drawovers were a really big thing back in the day.
Yes.
By pixel artists. I'm not saying it's cheating, but we never knew.
Correct.
So it was when you saw that image, it was like, oh my lord, that's really cool. That artist has taken that demoscene picture.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. Correct.
I've seen the image of the head of the alien from Desert Dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a game cover. I realized that under half a year ago.
Yeah.
It's an obscure game.
Yeah.
Well, what? And that's quite pixel perfect from that.
They did that a lot back then.
Yeah, but it is still in their spirit and all that.
Yeah.
You just took ideas from everywhere.
And everyone was... Also, everyone were kids back then. So,
yeah. You were edgy 14-year-olds. Come on.
Yeah, you didn't think about copyright.
No. What's copyright? We had copy parties.
Yeah, but AI.
AI.
Do you think it could harm creativity or even the demoscene itself in the long run?
Yes and no. Doing AI art is...
Do you call it art?
I will be edgy here. I will say it's cheating.
Yeah.
I dabble in AI slop myself, but I call it AI slop.
Yeah,
because it will never be art.
Indeed.
You're a prompt monkey.
Yeah.
Yes, you could add filters. You could. Oh yeah, but I chose the scene. Yeah, sure you did, but it's not art. I refuse to call it art. I can call it. It's a thing.
For me, it's just a tool. I use it sometimes, but I would never use it for anything demoscene related.
No, well, I will get into that. Because in the demoscene, if you're struggling with an effect as a programmer, I'm really struggling with this effect, I can't understand why it won't do what I say it will do.
Then you can ask it. Yeah.
You copy the code into some chatbot thingy and say, why doesn't this work? I wanted to do this. And it will either give you the correct answer, oh, you did this wrong.
Yeah.
Or it will give you something completely insane.
Yeah.
To paste that in, and then perhaps you learn, well, it did that when it changed it.
Yeah.
So that will help me in understanding the code.
Yeah, that is okay in my eyes.
That in
but
my
not just copying it.
No, in my eyes, that's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to get help from AI.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because quite a lot of programmers today are they're pushed into generating so much code that you don't quite understand why it does what it does. But come on, we didn't do that at 14-year-old either.
Correctly.
We basically changed a parameter and said, okay, that happened. Change one more parameter, that happened. Okay, that parameter controls something with that.
Correct.
So it is learning it's faster learning, but not quite understanding anymore. So AI for assisting you, sure, do it.
Yeah, it's just a tool.
Yeah, but well, Photoshop has had AI for a long time.
Yes, it has.
It just wasn't called AI.
Correctly.
So, yeah, but it isn't intelligence. It's interference with, well, I think this is what you want.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I did try, right before revision, I did try to ask 2 different services, I won't name them. Blah, 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 I'm in the demoscene. What do I need to make an intro? And it told me what I needed. Well, what platform are you programming for? Well, I want to do it on Windows. Well, okay, do Visual Studio. It's free. You could download it from here. And it told me how to install it. And then I said, okay, can you give me example code for something? Sure. What do you want on the screen? I said, yeah, I want this, and I want you to explain why this, that. And it did all that. I didn't understand the code.
Oh, no.
But this was just an experiment to see, is it possible to ask a chatbot to give me code it can help me understand?
Yeah.
And then perhaps I could expand on that. But yeah, it is possible to get into the demo scene by AI because programming is hard. And when you see demos, it is insane what they do. And looking at the shader code is basically, that's Greek to me. Yeah. That's completely incomprehensible. Oh. But having someone explain it, and sure, you can talk to your coder friend. Hi, can you explain this to me? Sure, I can. And then he will have to use several hours of his time or her time. We do have female coders, sorry.
Yeah.
But having an AI explain it to you and you being able to say, yeah, well, can you dumb it down for me? Can you explain it in another way? Can you do?
Oh, they're going to have to dumb it down really much.
Yeah. But they will.
Yeah.
And they will never get tired of it. And that's a good part of AI. Can you dumb this down for me so I can actually understand why changing that parameter changed that color?
Yeah.
Because that's not what I thought it should do. And it will.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can ask your local chatbot to generate things for you as long as you say what you wanted to generate. But it won't look good. No. It looked like absolute shit what I got out. But it will help you understand it. And that's where AI can help.
And that's a good thing.
Just boosting that. Oh, well, I managed to do that.
Yeah.
How can I do this?
Yes. How to do more.
How to do more. And that's the big part. Do more, understand more.
Yeah.
And do not rush this. That's the most important part. Do not rush demo coding. As the first demo, you cannot rush it.
You're going to need years to become good.
Yeah, yeah. You will need years. You will need time. And when we were 14, 15, 16, we had time. You got home from school and you had time.
Yeah.
You might have had soccer practice, but you had time.
You had hours upon hours.
Yes. Every day.
Yeah.
People who make demos didn't get good by writing 3 lines of code. They wrote 3 million lines of code.
Yeah. They practiced and practiced.
Yep.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Talk to everyone. Listen to them. Basically, don't stop talking to people because they said they have an Atari. Because I did that. I was a dick.
We all were. So.
And don't stop. Well, people have interesting things to say. Not everything is interesting, of course. Like me, I yap and yap. But if there's one sentence in here that's interesting, just listen to people.
Yeah.
Talk to people, meet people. At demo parties, you will meet a lot of nerds.
Oh yeah,
and they will happily explain whatever or talk about whatever event they went to.
Oh yeah.
If it was in '85 or it was in 2005, it doesn't matter. They were there.
Oh, yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
Or it was really bad. Yeah.
We're reaching the end here. Any shout-outs or greetings you'd like to send?
Well, come to Black Valley.
That's a good one.
The tickets are out. Of course, that's the main thing I'm involved with at demo parties around this time. Demo Zoo, of course, your friendly, non-toxic environment for demos and not a lot of chatting. We do that on Discord. So if you're not on Discord, that's a problem for you. There are clients who you can use for Discord without registering your phone number and all that. We are, of course, looking into other places to be because Discord will probably have the age thing.
Yeah.
UTA Pokefinder.org for your C64 fix because tape games were the shit back in the day.
Yeah.
And preserve your stuff. Pick up your old computer, try to make it work, ask people if it doesn't work, how to make it work again. People are helpful. There are a million YouTube channels you can watch to learn how to fix stuff or even get tips on who to contact. Yeah. The YouTubers usually don't fix stuff for you, but they will usually know who can fix stuff. And there are people most likely local to you who can fix.
Correct. Then let's wrap. Thanks for taking the time to chat.
No problem.
Maybe we will do another little YouTube movie in the future.